Hello, good evening. And as Grace says, good morning, good afternoon, good eye, and good night, but not yet. My name is Caroline from Bubbling Maths, and I'm here presenting materials provided by AIMSEC on their Aiming High website. The link to tomorrow morning's activities is in the description. And the resources that you'll need are purely for early years and basically from age 4 to 11, you'll need these. And any way to make rhythm. So it's just to be clapping and counting, and it's going to be a beautiful creative way of becoming familiar and learning times tables. With the and there's more to it than that, and that reveals itself in later years. So from 11 up, please have pen and paper, and then from 14 up, squared paper would be extremely useful if you can manage it. All those notes are in the description above. Now, just to cover briefly what we're going to be doing tomorrow, I see that Tom's here. Thank you for joining, Tom. There's something of interest for all ages, and this should be useful for your son. Let me see, get the right listing here. I had it ready and no, that's not it. Okay, if I pulled that one up, is it going to now show me? Hello, please reveal yourself. I'm going to unshare for a moment and have another look. If I put that on, then you can see, yes, and I didn't mention that actually, please print out the resource, because at least for a lot of ages, there's a really useful, a lot of 100 tables to print out, which you can then mark out. It really helps with A, learning, B, understanding and getting a real feel for your times tables. So it is eluding me. Hold on 1 second. Let me just have another go. See if I can now see it. Okay, it is not revealing itself. Oh, there it is. Found it. Found it. Right. So this is what I was talking about. Please do print this out if you can. I have to say that I have very often written out my 100 squares, and because I'm actually still in the process of learning my times tables. I only just started fairly recently. I never did learn my times tables as a child, which is why one of the reasons why I do what I do. So I did actually struggle in some areas of maths quite badly, and some things I just never learned. No matter how many times you explain it to me, I never did learn it. And the reason I now understand is because I didn't really have an understanding of it. And so the resources that we use, the activities that we're presenting, and the reason why I support AIMSEC so strongly is because the activities that they use are aimed at developing understanding for the topic. So it's based on games, it's based on rich activities that are more of a project than doing maths like you do in a classroom. And so these activities are, so as I say, I am learning my times tables, and if you cannot print them out, then please do draw them out. And as you draw them out, you then do the activities suggested in this activity pack, and you will find that times tables make a lot of sense. And I'll just cover now going through. So we've got we're going to be shifting times tables. It's called shifting times tables. We're going to be doing different things at different ages. If you notice here, this is called a function. We're going to be leading to that. So we'll start with early years will be at 10 o'clock in the morning for 4 to 7-year-olds, and that will be based purely on counting and clapping. and it's called skip counting. So depending on the age you're at. And then we're going to be going more towards rhythm. If you can get as many people as possible counting together with different number sequences, then so all clapping on the same number, but they'll be clapping at different times because one might be doing the 6 times table, one might be doing the 8 times table. There's something to engage everyone in the household in, and if you're back in school, then certainly do it in classes. And this is a great activity that you can do with the whole school, even if it's in different classrooms, if someone's coordinating it from the corridor or something. So if you don't want to be in one assembly room, although you could be in assembly hall, distanced, and everybody clapping, and it's a way of bringing people together. It's a very powerful way to bring people together because it's a team building, it's focusing, it's doing the math, it's concentrating, it's doing the calculations and bringing them together, because at the points when everybody's clapping together, everyone's having to listen to what everybody else is doing, keep the rhythm going, and it's doing math. So that's the activity. That's what you saw there was more for the later on. So, but for early years, let me see, let me start again. Somewhere here, we start at early years, but this isn't it. I do have the right. So that's what you want to print out there. And here we go. For young children, they're going to be clapping. Then for 7 to 11-year-olds, it's all about using those 100 grids to become really familiar. And like here we have, for example, start with counting in threes, but then, and you, for example, you count in threes, but you might, if you're not ready to count to 3, 6, 9, you'd start with 1 silently, 3, 6, 9, and then you can progress on to, once you get your 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, then you can progress on to 6, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. So you're moving on to the 6 times table as a progression once you've got the 3 times table, if you can see what we're doing here. And so following the activity here and doing it on a regular basis, this is a really powerful activity to incorporate into your home learning to really help not only learn the times tables, but also understand and get a real feel for numbers. And then you can do it together. And this is an absolutely fabulous activity. So it'll be like one group counts on every beat, or one person, and one does every other. So 2, 4, 6, and every third. And those are the activities we'll be talking about. Then lower secondary, it's more do the clapping and then writing down sequences. And this is where we're going to be shifting the sequences. So instead of going 3, 6, 9, we'll go 4, adding 3 is shifting it along. And as they get older, taking this and making it into, which is where the graph paper comes in, 14 to 16-year-olds, interpreting that in graphs, and depending how much you've shifted it, it moves up and down the graph paper. And this is just really helps to, and if you start with those people that the 14 to 16-year-olds, they can start at the beginning like everybody else, and you're just building up. So, and these are all low threshold, high ceiling activities. So you can all start at the beginning, all start with clapping, all do different timetables, do the rhythm, even if it's just 2 people doing it. It's a fun activity, and then you move to shifting, and then once you've done the shifting, you move to actually recording it on graph paper, and it's all designed to increase understanding and prepare for the more formal maths down on paper. And then finally, the 16 to 18-year-olds, you're then looking at functions. So I'll let the 18 to 16 to 18-year-olds, 15 to 18-year-olds really work on the functions there. There's a whole activity, and if you download this one, then you've got a link to the other one, and it's all designed to help. And that this is a way of recording what you're doing, and this is all, as you can see, it starts from the very basic counting in ones, counting all the way up to functions for 18-year-olds. So those are the activities, and just so that you know the why do it. So in the home, this is the home learning and inclusion guide that are being written to enhance all the activities on the Aiming High website, which were originally written for teachers. And these were written for teachers that attend the AIMSET courses. Now, these are teachers in Africa, and the teachers that come from disadvantaged and rural areas have very few resources and next to no budget, and huge classrooms, like 90 is normal in a lot of these classrooms, and almost no resources. So all these activities are designed to be accessible to, and there's also not the CPD, the inset, there's not the support from other teachers. So it has to be quite easy to understand to make sure that, because of course a lot of, especially primary school teachers, are not maths specialists. So this is all helping people that are not maths specialists to, now that was the teacher resource I'm talking about, but now we've got the home learning and inclusion guide, which is simplified it yet to a point where parents, carers, grandparents, brothers, sisters can help facilitate the home learning using these guides. And what it does, and what we're aiming at here, is it can, from the first principles, you can help learn your multiplication tables, but once you already know your multiplication tables, it's recognizing number patterns. Now, recognizing patterns is it's not essential. Well, it is essential to be a nimble mathematician. Not essential to pass your exams, but it is essential to be a nimble mathematician, one who's really agile and who can be, who you say, oh, well, that person's clever because they can do this and that. One person being nimble in maths doesn't mean another one is not clever. It just means that one person really sees the patterns and makes the connections, and the other person hasn't got to that point yet. What does it take to get to that point? It's practice, to see numbers, to work on patterns, to look at sequences, and that's what this exercise helps you with, and that will help you be nimble, which will make you more clever, because the more you do these kind of activities, the more nimble you will be, and there is no reason why most people cannot become just as nimble as the clever person in class. Just requires practice so that you see the patterns. So I spoke about the shifting times table, the learning objectives. This is aimed at grown-ups, just to know, to have an idea what we're talking about. And so it's practice and learn the multiplication tables. I'm just reading what it says there now. Meet the idea that multiplication tables and lists of multiples lead to sequences, and then working in an informal way with rules for sequences, so the function rules. And this will help your learners think mathematically, which is absolutely critical to become clever, and making connections. Those are so important, and getting that agility in with numbers and seeing the connections. And so it's getting through all of this, getting a deeper understanding of concepts, and also I'm just going to close this now because that's it. And also not just understanding of concepts. Oh dear, I lost my train of thought. I shouldn't have closed the page. That's why, maybe that's why I'm always the little talking head in the corner, because if I click on a button, it clears my memory. Oh, wonderful. It just, I'll just repeat it. I've said it 3 times now. I'll repeat it one more time. The patterns and the connections are really critical in it builds confidence as well, so that when you see something, it's not like, what? It's, oh, wait, oh, I saw this before. oh, is that the same as this? And is this the same as that? Oh, wait a minute, is this similar to that? Those are the sorts of things that really wake you up to enjoying, truly enjoying, and to being mathematical. The more mathematical you are, the more you'll enjoy it. And the more you enjoy it, the more success you'll have in the maths classroom. And in the maths classroom, you will gain so many life skills. You learn determination, perseverance, you learn problem solving, you learn tenacity, you learn, learn agility, you learn courage. Well, you don't learn courage, you practice courage. You practice going ahead and doing something that you think, well, I don't actually know how to do this. I might not be able to do it. What will everybody think? They think I'm stupid. And you learn how to learn from mistakes. And you learn how to embrace mistakes and turn mistakes into learning points. And that's when you really have one of the biggest skills you can learn from maths is to not have a fear of failure. Fear of failure is what really causes the fear of maths. And fear of failure in life can stop you from doing so many things. And I know that myself personally, as I'm still experiencing it. There are things I really should be doing right now that I'm a bit fearful of, because I'm like, whoa, I might not succeed. And I am going to do them because my ethos in life, the code I live by is that one must do things even if one feels fearful of them, especially when they're important. So this is maths really trains that into you. So if you are enjoying these lives, please do share them. If you find this group Making Maths Fun for Kids of All Ages is useful, please do tell other people about it. Put a post on your Facebook profile and tell people with a link to the page, to the group called Making Maths Fun for Kids of All Ages. And then if you're on YouTube, please also subscribe to our YouTube channels. That's Bubbly Maths, where all these lives are uploaded, and there's Making Maths Toys, which is they're very specifically linked. Every video on there is very specifically linked to the activities that are on the Aiming High website, and that's again with the home learning and inclusion guide as a link on every video that's there, unless they're little how-tos like how to make paper sticks or how to do specific things, how to make resources. There's the how to make resources, and then there's the activities which are linked to the inclusion guides. So I'm just going to double check, have a look on Facebook to see if anybody's made any comments, because it's just rude not to, basically. Here we go. I do have to play it. So Tom was on. I don't know if you're still on, but I hope this is of use to you. Just to let you know, tomorrow morning will be a rerun. At 9, it's for 7 to 18-year-olds. At 10, it will be for, let's get this right, my brain will start kicking in any second now, for early years, 4 to 7-year-olds. And then tomorrow evening, over the weekend, we'll be fully live again. And it will be, we're playing a game, and I'll be playing the game on Friday night, on Saturday morning, on Saturday night, Saturday night, but not Sunday morning. I'll be having a rest on Sunday morning, and then again Sunday night, that's at 8 o'clock London time. I will be the game that we play over the weekend, I'll be presenting it in a similar way to this, where you'll, on Monday morning, I'll be presenting live the maths behind the game that we play over the weekend. So I'll be letting you know what you need to prepare on the Sunday night to prepare for the Monday morning live. That's it. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us, Tom. And I didn't do a watch party this time, so we don't have the other audience that we normally get. Just got to find Zoom. There we go. And thank you for joining. See you tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Thank you so much. See you next time.